The summer heat in suburban Chicago was unrelenting that year, the kind that made the asphalt shimmer and turned every breath into a sticky ordeal. Mason Harper, was 22, fresh out of community college with a degree in graphic design that felt as useless as my busted-up mountain bike. I'd been riding it everywhere since my beat-up Honda finally gave out, but that afternoon, the chain snapped clean in two while I was pedaling furiously away from my ex-boyfriend's apartment. Ryan. God, even thinking his name now twisted my gut. We'd been together for 2 years, or so I thought, until I walked in on him with some guy from his gym. The betrayal hit like a freight train, leaving me reeling and alone in a city that suddenly felt too big and too cold. I wheeled the bike back to Alex's place, my sneakers scuffing against the sidewalk lined with manicured lawns and American flags fluttering in the breeze. Alex and I had been inseparable since high school, both outcasts in our own ways. He was the straight A kid with dreams of law school, and I was the artsy one hiding my sexuality until senior year. His family had become my surrogate one after my parents kicked me out for coming out. Mrs. Thompson had passed away from cancer 5 years ago, leaving Alex and his dad, Jack, to navigate life in that big colonial house on Elm Street. When I knocked, Alex answered with his usual grin, earbuds dangling from his neck. "Dude, what happened? You look like you got hit by a bus." "Bike chain broke," I muttered, avoiding his eyes. "And Ryan cheated on me." Caught him red-handed. Alex's face fell. "Shit, Mason. Come in. Dad's in the garage tinkering with his old Mustang. He's a wizard with mechanical stuff. Let him fix your bike while we grab beers and trash talk Ryan." I nodded, grateful for the distraction. We headed to the garage, a spacious haven filled with tools, oil stains, and the faint scent of gasoline. Jack Thompson was under the hood of his cherry red '67 Mustang, his broad shoulders straining against a grease-streaked t-shirt. At 48, he was the epitome of rugged Americana, tall, with salt and pepper hair, a jawline that could cut glass, and eyes the color of stormy Lake Michigan. He'd been a mechanic before retiring early after his wife's death, now spending days restoring classics and volunteering at the local VA center. "Hey, Mr. T," Alex called. "Mason's bike is toast. Think you can work your magic?" Jack straightened up, wiping his hands on a rag, his gaze landing on me. There was something in his eyes, concern maybe, or recognition of the pain I was trying to hide. "Sure thing. Bring it over, kid." As Alex wandered off to fetch drinks, I pushed the bike toward Jack. "Thanks, Mr. Thompson. I appreciate it." "Call me Jack," he said with a warm smile that crinkled the corners of his eyes. "And no problem. Let's see what we've got here." He knelt down, his strong hands examining the chain with practiced ease. I hovered awkwardly, watching as he oiled the parts and realigned the derailleur. The silence was comfortable at first, broken only by the clink of tools. But then he glanced up. "You okay, Mason? You seem off." I hesitated, then blurted it out. "My boyfriend cheated on me. Ex-boyfriend now." Jack paused, his expression softening. "That sucks. Been there myself, believe it or not. Not with a guy, but betrayal's betrayal." I blinked. "You? But you and Mrs. Thompson seemed so happy." He chuckled ruefully, focusing on the bike. "We were for a while, but life throws curveballs. I was in the closet back then, married young to fit in. After she passed, I started figuring things out. Dated a few guys quietly. My heart skipped. Jack was gay. Alex had never mentioned it. Does Alex know?" "Yeah, told him last year. He's been great about it." Jack stood, testing the pedals. "Bike's good as new. Want to take it for a spin?" We ended up riding together around the neighborhood, the evening sun dipping low, casting golden hues over picket fences and kids playing catch. Jack shared stories from his army days, the loneliness of hiding who he was. I opened up about my parents, the sting of rejection. By the time we circled back, something had shifted, a spark, unspoken but electric. That night, as I lay in Alex's guest room, he'd insisted I crash there. My phone buzzed. A text from Jack. "If you need to talk, I'm here. Garage doors always open." I smiled, a warmth spreading through me. Little did I know, this was just the beginning. Over the next few weeks, I found excuses to visit. Bike tune-ups turned into late-night conversations over coffee in the kitchen, Jack's deep voice recounting tales of road trips across Route 66. He was everything Ryan wasn't. Kind, steady, with a quiet strength that made me feel seen. One evening, as rain pelted the windows, we sat on the porch swing, sharing a blanket. You're brave, Mason, he said softly. Coming out young like that. Wish I'd had your courage. I turned to him, our faces inches apart. You're brave now. That's what matters. His hand brushed mine, and time stopped. Then he leaned in, his lips meeting mine in a kiss that was tentative at first, then deepening with years of pent-up longing. It was fireworks, kitsch tin, raw, and utterly romantic. But guilt gnawed at me. Alex was my best friend. What would he think? The affair, if that's what it was, blossomed in secret corners of our lives. Jack and I stole moments in the garage, his calloused hands tracing paths on my skin that made my pulse race. We'd drive out to Starved Rock State Park, hiking trails where the Illinois River wound through canyons, sharing picnics, and whispered confessions. I've never felt this alive, he'd say, his eyes locking onto mine with an intensity that sent shivers down my spine. Yet, the secrecy weighed heavy. Alex noticed my frequent visits, but chalked it up to my breakup recovery. Glad Dad's helping you out, he'd say clueless. I hated lying to him, but the fear of losing both kept me silent. One weekend, Jack surprised me with tickets to a Cubs game at Wrigley Field. The roar of the crowd, the crack of the bat. It was pure Americana, laced with our hidden romance. As the sun set over the ivy-covered walls, he slipped his arm around me in the anonymity of the stands. This could be us, Mason, out in the open someday. Someday. The word hung like a promise, but reality intruded. Jack was still grieving his wife in ways he didn't admit, and I was rebounding from Ryan. Doubts crept in. Was this real, or just a band-aid for our wounds? The first crack appeared during a barbecue at their house. Neighbors milled about, burgers sizzling on the grill. Alex introduced me to his new girlfriend, Sarah, and we all laughed over old stories. But when Jack and I locked eyes across the yard, the heat was palpable. Later, in the kitchen, he pulled me into a quick kiss. What if someone sees? I whispered, heart hammering. They won't, he assured, but his voice lacked conviction. That night, Ryan showed up unannounced at Alex's door, drunk and remorseful. Mason, please, it was a mistake. I love you. I sent him away, but the encounter stirred old pains. Jack found me on the porch, tears streaming. He's not worth it, he said, holding me. But are we? I asked. Hiding like this? Jack sighed. I need time. Alex. He's my son. The tension built. We argued more, about commitment, about the age gap. Jack was twice my age, with a life established. I was just starting mine. One heated night in his bedroom, after Alex had gone out, words flew. You're ashamed of me, I accused. No, Mason. I'm protecting us. But his eyes betrayed doubt. Then came the betrayal that shattered everything. I discovered Jack had been seeing someone else, a guy from his VA group, named Tom. I'd seen texts on his phone by accident. Miss our nights. When can I see you again? Confrontation erupted in the garage, tools scattering as I yelled. How could you? After everything. Jack's face crumpled. It was before you. I ended it, but he won't let go. Liar. I stormed out, biking furiously into the night, rain mixing with tears. Alex found me hours later at a diner, soaked and broken. What happened, man? I couldn't hold it in. Your dad. And me. We're together. But he cheated. Alex's shock turned to anger. My dad? With you? That's fucked up, Mason. The fallout was swift. Alex confronted Jack, the house echoing with shouts. How could you betray Mom's memory? And with my best friend. Jack tried to explain. I loved your mom, but I'm gay, son. This with Mason, it's real. But Alex stormed out, leaving Jack devastated. I holed up in my tiny apartment, job-hunting emails blurring through tears. The city lights outside mocked my isolation. Jack called endlessly, but I ignored him. The pain was too raw, echoing Ryan's betrayal. Weeks passed in a haze. I threw myself into freelance design work, sketching logos that screamed independence. But memories haunted me. Jack's laugh, his touch. One evening, a knock. It was Alex. We need to talk. We sat in a coffee shop, steam rising from our mugs. I was pissed, he admitted. But Dad's miserable without you. And, I get it. He's been alone too long. You forgive him? Us. Alex nodded. It's weird, but if it makes him happy. And you. Just don't hurt him. Hope flickered, but the wound was deep. Reconciliation didn't come easy. Jack showed up at my door the next day, flowers in hand, wildflowers from the park we'd hiked. Mason, please. Let me explain. We talked for hours on my fire escape, overlooking the bustling Chicago streets. He admitted to the fling with Tom, but swore it ended before our first kiss. I was scared of feeling this much again. After losing Emily, I thought love was done for me. I shared my fears too, the rebound from Ryan, the fear of another heartbreak. But you make me want to try, I confessed. We kissed under the stars, a tentative mending, but trust rebuilt slowly. We dated openly now, starting with small steps. Alex joined us for dinners, awkward at first, but warming into acceptance. You two are gross, he'd tease, but his smile was genuine. The romance deepened. Jack took me on a road trip to the Grand Canyon, his Mustang humming along Interstate 40. We camped under vast skies, sharing stories by campfires. I love you, Mason, he said one night, the words wrapping around my heart like a lifeline. I love you too, I replied, the vastness of the canyon echoing our vulnerability. Back home, challenges arose. Whispers from neighbors. Small-town suburbia wasn't always kind to a May-December gay romance. At a community event, an old army buddy of Jack sneered, slumming it with the kid, huh? Jack stood tall. He's my partner. Got a problem. The confrontation escalated, fists nearly flying, but it solidified us. We attended pride events in the city, rainbow flags waving as we held hands publicly for the first time. Yet, deeper conflict simmered. Jack's health scare, a routine check revealing high blood pressure, forced us to face mortality. I'm not young, Mason. What if I'm holding you back? You're not. I insisted, but doubts lingered. The high point came during Thanksgiving. Alex hosted, Sarah by his side. We gathered around the table, turkey steaming, laughter filling the air. Jack proposed a toast, to family, blood, and chosen. Under the table, his hand squeezed mine. It felt like home. But fate twisted again. Ryan resurfaced, sober now, begging forgiveness. I was wrong. Give me another chance. Temptation flickered, familiarity versus the unknown. I met him at a bar, but as he spoke, I saw the shallowness. No, Ryan. I've moved on. He lashed out, spreading rumors online, calling our relationship predatory. The backlash hit hard. Alex defended us fiercely on social media, but Jack withdrew, guilt resurfacing. We should end this, he said one stormy night. For your sake. No, I cried. Don't you dare give up. The argument peaked in tears and embraces, our love clashing against fears. In the end, we chose to fight, therapy sessions, open talks with Alex. Winter brought clarity. On Christmas Eve, snow blanketing the streets, Jack surprised me with a key to his house. Move in. Let's build this life together. I accepted, our kiss sealing the promise amid twinkling lights. But peace was fleeting. A call from the VA. Tom had overdosed, leaving a note blaming Jack for breaking his heart. The guilt crushed him. I hurt him, Mason, just like I might hurt you. We navigated the grief together, attending the funeral where old wounds reopened. Alex supported his dad, reminding him, you deserve happiness too. Through it all, our bond strengthened. Kitsch tin waves giving way to deeper waters of understanding. Spring arrived in Chicago like a rebirth, cherry blossoms painting the parks in pink. Jack and I settled into cohabitation, the house on Elm Street transforming with my art on the walls and our shared routines. Mornings started with coffee on the porch, his arm around me as we watched the world wake. This is what I never expected, I'd say, echoing the surprise of our beginning. But lingering shadows tested us. Ryan's rumors festered, leading to a confrontation at a local bar. He cornered me, slurring accusations. That old man's using you. Jack intervened, his voice steady. Back off. He's with me. A scuffle ensued, punches thrown, police called. In the aftermath, as we nursed bruises in the ER, Jack whispered, worth it for you. The incident drew us closer, but Alex worried. You two need a break from this town. We took his advice, planning a cross-country drive to California, symbolic of new beginnings. Along the way, in a motel in Nebraska, Jack opened up about his past fully. The repressed youth in a conservative family, the marriage as a shield, the quiet affairs during deployments. I never thought I'd find someone like you. In the Grand Tetons, under towering peaks, We exchanged vows in a private ceremony. Just us, the mountains as witnesses. I promise to choose you every day, he said, slipping a simple band on my finger. Back in Chicago, life normalized. I landed a job at a design firm. Jack resumed his volunteering. Alex announced Sarah's pregnancy, making us uncles in a blended family. Yet, the ultimate test came with Jack's diagnosis. Early-stage prostate cancer, caught during a checkup. The news hit like a bomb, fear gripping us. I'll fight this, he vowed, but treatments loomed, surgery, radiation. I stood by him through it all, holding his hand in waiting rooms, cooking meals when chemo weakened him. Alex was there too, our trio unbreakable. In the quiet nights, as he slept, I'd trace his features, memorizing the man who'd fixed more than my bike. He'd mended my heart. Recovery was grueling, but Jack emerged stronger, his spirit unbroken. You saved me, Mason. No, I replied. We saved each other. The story culminated at a summer festival, pride flags waving. Jack, healthy again, proposed publicly on stage. Mason Harper, will you marry me? Tears streaming, I said yes amid cheers. Alex beamed from the crowd, his child on the way symbolizing hope. Our wedding was intimate, friends, family, under Chicago's skyline. Vows exchanged, we danced to old jazz tunes, the city lights reflecting our journey. In the end, it wasn't just romance, it was human resilience. Betrayals healed, conflicts resolved, love prevailing in its messy, beautiful form. Jack and I built a life not despite the odds, but because of them, proof that unexpected paths lead to profound destinations. As we honeymooned in Hawaii, waves crashing, I reflected, a broken bike chain had sparked it all. Who knew fixing one thing could mend so much more?